And what I'm gonna do is, if Janelle and Georgianne, you can tell me otherwise, but I can just put the video right there on my YouTube page and link it right onto the Google site. So I can do that so you don't have to put it anywhere where it's going to be a large video taking up room. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so we're recording now and I'm thrilled. And I'm gonna go back to what we were doing. So we are recording now, that's awesome. And I will put this up on the Google sites unless Georgianne and Janelle tell me otherwise. So your goals here, this is what I'm working on today. This is where last night I was like, I'm gonna retool this to hit these goals. And I'm gonna try my best to hit them all day. I might only hit them like once at one point in the day, but I'm gonna do my best to try and hit these. But I totally agree with all these. The time management has been one that I've been struggling with. The digital tools, the knowing what tools that students get involved with, a basic idea of the platform, explore the various options, content delivery, more apps to use, activities and programs. So I know you're on various devices. I am gearing this more towards what could be done if you had a Chromebook, if you had an iOS device, if you had a laptop. So you'll see that as I go through. Sometimes I might say, this is only on iOS. And so with your goals in mind, this is the overview. We're going through like virtual instruments because we can't play instruments, but if your students have devices, there's so many virtual instruments out there that they can actually play instruments. It's not the traditional way, but nothing is traditional in this school year. So we kind of have to let tradition go for now, hopefully temporarily, and start adopting some of these new platforms and assessment tools and resources. So we're gonna go over a lot of this today. First thing I'm gonna talk about is setup. This is my dining room. I went to a friend's house because she has like the fastest internet and she said, go ahead and use my carriage house. So I'm very grateful to my friend Kelly who said, just come over here if you're gonna do this with a lot of people. You don't want your husband working. He works for NBC and he would have knocked the internet out while I was trying to work with you. So kudos to my friend Kelly. But normally this is where I am. It's my walk-in dining room to the kitchen. It's like just a tiny little dining room and that's my living room way back there. And usually I have Zoom and then I have a second monitor. This is set up right now in this house I'm in. So this second monitor is a must. It's a must. If you're not teaching with a second monitor, it will be money worth well spent. I think I bought this in March and it was about $100. And then like when my friend was like, I was getting rid of mine. You could have just taken it. So there's always people kind of just trashing their second monitors, grab them. But second monitors are really good because right now I can see you all and I can see my my whole setup. I can see everything I'm presenting to you. And that when we first went teaching, like I hated the fact that they disappeared somewhere or went behind a window. The second monitor just solves that for you. And really all you need are things, I'm using VGA, I'm really old, or an HDMI cable. And if you're on a Mac, like the adapter. And that's all you need to do. And then once you turn it on, make sure you're not mirrored. In school, we usually mirrored our projection, but don't mirror. And then you have another screen. So in Zoom, anytime you share your screen, all the students go to one screen and your shared screen goes to the other. And it makes it so nice. For those of you who are on updated Mac iOS, there's a program called Sidecar. At the time, I didn't have this. And Sidecar can make your iPad a second monitor. But I use my iPad to log in. It's plugged in, so I can't even bring it over here. But I use it to log in so that I also can see everything I'm sharing and I can see if I disappear and jump out of the meeting in some way, shape, or form. So I like to have that. I think that's really important. I can also see when the chat comes up and I like having that. I think that's a nice thing just to log in as a student so I can see what the students are seeing. It's really helpful with my third graders last year who would constantly unmute and go, I can't see you, I can't see you. And I would say, I can see me. So let me see why you can't see me. You know, I'm not the tech person to try and solve the tech problems in your individual houses. So I always log in just to say, I can see me. I hope you can see me too. Sidecar is not an app. Thank you for using a chat box because I'm here off on the iPad checking it. It's not an app. It's like a part of what it is it's in the iOS system of a more current iMac and iOS. It will have it built in. And it's an interesting thing. I can't tell you much about it because I wasn't on a machine that could work it, but what it does is it's going to, in real time, take your, I think I have it somewhere. Do I actually have that now? It will take your iPad and make it that second monitor, which is really cool. And so more about this setup. You can purchase this, is what I was talking about, sidecar or duet display. So again, these are on your Google site. If you want to go and click the link and look at this while I'm talking, go right ahead. Make this day about you and what you can get out of it. So duet display, I went that route when I didn't have a monitor. They say that it can turn your iOS or Android device into a high performance, zero lag. That is not the experience I got. It had a 2-minute lag. I never went back to it again. It was a $10 app that I put on my iPad, and then when I tried to share my screen on Zoom, the kids went off into cyberspace for 2 minutes and then came back. I didn't have a good experience. But if others have experience, throw it in the chat or share it with us like, no, this is one of the best things ever, because it might have just been my experience. And again, log in with another device so you can always see what the students are seeing and you don't spend half your class trying to answer tech issues. It's really important to check your internet speed. And you can do that by just putting in Google, check your internet speed. And when you do that, you can check how your internet is going. So here's like just one very short video of my internet speed at my house last night. So my husband had to replace our internet once we all started having to work from home. So this is pretty good. This is checking my upload and download speed. And this was at the time that my husband was doing a job upstairs. So it's pretty good and pretty fast. This is what the results came out to be. And it says your internet speed is pretty fast. Now I tried it on a hotspot. So I was using my hotspot phone card. And then you can see the various differences that internets have. So if you're having lagging issues, do this first. Check your internet speed and see what's going on, and see if you're getting into these high numbers or low numbers. When this one finishes, it just tells me that my internet speed is fine, but not very fast like the other one. And this could cause problems later on, especially when we're trying to use Zoom. So what's a good internet speed? Again, a good upload is 5 and about, it tells you there 1.5, that upload speed becomes much more important if you want to use video chat. So that's why for me, I wanted to be here on the upload speed of 10.6. This is why if I was using my hotspot right now, we would be lagging badly, because look how low that is when I should be at least 5 or more. Latency versus bandwidth. This is just really, really good to know. All right, yeah, just looking at the chat there. Your hotspot speeds are a regular speed. Oh my goodness, are they really? Okay, thank you for that. So if you're having internet issues, that's what's coming. That's what's happening, and it's unfortunate because you need to have about 5 or more. And I don't know the answer, because that's what I was using, was hotspot all March until my husband said this wasn't working, because it was affecting my job. It was, Amy, if you can't teach, we don't know what we're paying you for. So my husband was like, I'll fix the internet. But if you're having problems, there it is. But if that's something to help you prove that that's the problem, use those. This is just coming off of checking your internet speed and coming off of just websites checking that, like plugthingsin.com. The latency versus the bandwidth here. The latency is delay. It's the amount of delay it takes, and it's usually measured in milliseconds. So you saw that over here. These were being measured in 11 milliseconds, and the hotspot was being measured in 1 millisecond. In those milliseconds, they actually they aren't the same thing. Bandwidth has to do with how wide, they give you an analogy here of a pipe, how wide or narrow the pipe is, and latency has to do with the contents of the pipe, how fast it moves through one end. So it tells you it's relative, but the answer is, what are you going to use the internet for? So that said, anything under 100 milliseconds is reasonable. So that's what we have. And if you want to play games, especially first-person shooters or driving games, then you should aim for latency of less than 50 milliseconds and preferably less than 30. So If those facts help you, use those facts to see if that can help you talk about this issue. And it's really hard when we have this issue. Great. All right, admitting more people in. There we go. All right, so what can you and your students do? Like, what can you do if we have these issues? Especially my students were having these issues. So one is increase your internet, but you might not have that ability or that option. So when your students are participating in online learning, this is so true. You can ask others not to do things while they're on, but that's just not happening for working families. It wasn't for us. I had to teach, my husband was working, and my 2 daughters were online school. It was a nightmare. And I mean, that's the thing, that is easier said than done, but these are just trying to give you options. Students can turn off their cameras. That really does help. For the first time that I was going on to any meetings when we went pandemic mode, I turned off my camera, so no one ever saw me, but at least I could hear them better. It is a way, it's rotten to try and teach that way with students, but it is a way to make it work. It will give them better connection. And then use the chat tool to keep them connected. There was one student I never saw, but he chatted the whole time. And then, can we play music together? Not at this time. And then mute or unmute when you're singing. If we're all lying together and I unmuted you right now, you know it would be a very hilarious scenario, because unfortunately we just can't sing or play together. If I told you to take out your instruments and let's all jam together, it would be frightening or funny. I think the best video was right after we went into this pandemic, someone did the Hallelujah chorus. It was just some church choir trying to do it over Zoom. And I don't think they meant to be funny, but like, it was so real and so accurate. So a lot of times I'm singing and the kids are muted and you're just watching them hoping that they're singing along with you. But there are times I just unmute. If we're doing pitch explorations, I unmute. I don't care, they're all over the place. I want to hear them sing. Call and response, though the timing is so off, that is a great way for you to figure out how their internet speed is. Because when you sing and then they're going to sing back to you and you realize Johnny is singing quickly, but you know, Michaela is not, you know their internet speed. So you're going to start to learn who is really lagging on their bandwidth and who isn't. And it's good because then you can help them better when you know that. And then longer songs, I just mute and sing, and hopefully they're singing with me. Sharing sound. So you're doing these communication tools for teaching. And so you're talking about how you're going to share your sound, how are you going to share your screen. So I'm going to show, this is just kind of just some things that we are doing. And I have to use Zoom or Google Meets, unfortunately. So in Zoom is pretty nice because you can share just your music or computer sound. You can share your screen like I'm doing, and then play the music from like a PowerPoint or from, you know, your Apple Music player or anything, but then they're seeing the screen. So if I'm doing like a movement, I will pin myself. And then when I do that, like I'll pin me like this, and then perfect. I can now pin multiple people is what it's telling me. That's so nice. So I can pin me and then I can unpin me, remove the pin. But when I'm doing that, if I'm doing a movement piece, I can pin me and then have the video over there that I'm following, and they can't see the video because I pinned myself. And you can turn their pinning off. So it's nice. You can do that in Meets. I'm sure you can do that in Teams, I would assume. And you can do that obviously in Zoom. Zooms, I think their sharing sound is just so much nicer. If you're doing Google Meets, you have to share a Chrome tab, and it's not the most intuitive nor fun thing. But totally, what I first started with was just I had a good speaker and just played it loudly in my background because I just didn't know what to do the day I had to do this, and I couldn't figure it out quickly enough. So I just got a big speaker, and the kids are like, we can hear you. But things like this, where it's circled on the screen, share your computer sound, that's really, really important to check. And in Zoom, when you share the screen, you have to check that for everyone to hear you. So they're gonna hear the music that's in your laptop coming right into their buds. It's great. The problem is you start talking over it, they can't hear you anymore. Then you're gonna need more of an audio type of splitter and mixer to do that. which a lot of my like really good sound engineer friends and my gigging musician friends have. But if you have to click this, once you share the screen, that stays on. However, if you don't click it the first time, it won't stay on. Even if you prep it and you click it, but then you just stop sharing, you never actually went to share the screen, this will turn off. So make sure that is checked. It's always on the bottom, and click share. And then they can hear any music you're playing goes right to them instead of going out and through your little microphone. That's just really important to do. Zoom has a really amazing feature. If you go into Share Screen Advanced, now it's in beta testing, but it's there. You can share your PowerPoint. So that means if you have like this you see here, I have a bunch of lyrics that's in a PowerPoint. So I hit Share Advanced, and then I say, grab my PowerPoint. It turns all my slides into my background. And when that happens, it makes me this tiny person right here, which I actually can make myself much bigger. How does this help you? Because when you share your screen, if you're playing guitar, you can put the guitar tab, chords, lyrics, lead sheet right here on the screen, and then it has you on the screen right there. So here's the lead sheet, here's you, and you're showing them how to play. And then again, you can flip your screen so it looks correct on your Zoom in Zoom. That's great. So again, that's in the share. Hit the advanced tab, and it will take all your Google Slides, or not Google Slides, sorry, PowerPoint, and make it into the backdrop and put you on the screen. Again, it's great for sing-alongs. It's great to record yourself doing a sing-along. I use Zoom more often than not to just record myself and then place it on their Seesaw. And this is what I was doing there, or in my classroom, because in face-to-face teaching, I can't actually sing. So I make these videos. So I'm going to show you a lot of free resources. That was just a setup because that came up on a goal. So I wanted to go over that so you understood some of the setup options you have. Now I'm going to talk about free resources. And these again are up on our Google site, and I'm just going to show it again in case you just jumped on. Our Google site is here. It's in the chat room. Just scroll up and you'll find the link. And our Google site has all our resources. So things I'm showing you today, you will be able to have access to. And again, I'm just using 2 monitors. It makes it easy to swoop out those screens easily. I am going to talk about here is free is limited. Remember, when I show you something free, it's pretty limited because it could work, or it might be telling you for 7 days you'll work, or for 30-day trial or things. And a lot of companies made things free, like Zoom. Zoom, you're on my educator account, which means I don't have a 45-minute account. This is free for educators, and it goes more than 45 minutes. So if you're stuck on a free Zoom account that's only for 45 minutes, give them your educator email address, and then you get this. Because I've been on Zoom now for an hour and 14 minutes, and it's not going to log me off. I'm glad Zoom did that. There are really cool like screen recording tools that went free, and it's nice that they gave these for educators. I'm going to talk age restrictions and things that are flash-based like musictechteacher.com. These things will end in 2020. And she's trying, so it just even to show you this is Karen's site, musictechteacher.com. We love this site. The games are phenomenal. Students love her games, but she made a lot of these in Flash. And she's telling you right now at the end of 2020, she's trying to find another platform to make these games. So if you are using them now a lot with your students, go and check this, because by the end of 2020, it might no longer work. So we're gonna start I'm gonna start simple, like you're gonna be like, why? But it's really because I wanna make sure that all the people I see on the Zoom today, I'm hitting each one of you. So though you might not be interested in Bingo Baker, I don't know, someone on here might, like Charles might be interested in Bingo Baker. So this one is really cool. What I like about this one is you create an account, you can generate a bingo card or find already a pre-made one, and then they can play online. That's what I really like about it, is this is great for online teaching. Let me just submit in, there we go. All right. So let me show you this and just check the chat window for a second, make sure that I'm hitting it. Awesome. All right, so this is Bingo Baker, and And I am saying it right, yes. So you can find cards here like music and music symbols if you're looking for it. And these are already pre-made for you. So let's do music symbols. And you can just find these. So these are PDFs that you could just print, of course, or you can make this an online game, which is really, really cool. So when we're doing something like this, you can actually just share the link. So if I share that link, and I always try to do things, I like using Chrome because of the incognito tab, though other browsers might have this too, but this is kind of how my students would see things. So you generate a card and look at that, and then you can just check off things online. And that's just Bingo Baker. Oh, let me admit this person. Sorry, Sharon. There we go. So that's just Bingo Baker. And I didn't even make that card. It was already in there. But of course, you can make your own cards and then just share this with the students. And this is your call list. So you can say alto clef. And if I was over here, I already marked it off, that's alto clef. So this is just a really, really cool little tool, but a lot of fun to use. And very simple to set up, like really intuitive to work online with. And again, just showing you that. Here's another one, the word searchables. So wordsearchables.com, and there is one that I found here already, or I created. And this is great because when you use it online, you can just see, and I found compose, and then it crosses it off for you. So you can make some really cool things. And of course, if they do it wrong, it won't do anything for them. But this is neat. You can use this online, share it again, or just download it as a PDF and put it up on a Google Classroom, or put the link right there on Google Classroom. You're not using Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, excuse me, or however the online platform you're using, and go for it. This is really cool. You can just use it, and they can use it right there. Kami. So Kami is a really cool extension and a free tool you can use. It also has its paid tool. What Kami does is it takes a PDF and you can open it in Kami. So if I was doing something where I had a PDF, I can just automatically open in Kami and fill it out. That's what I love about Kami. So I've been watching my daughter do this constantly. She gets these worksheets, and Kami allows you to actually just open up the worksheet and use it. And we love that because it makes it, you can write on it. You can, I think the video tools on it are the paid version, but you can definitely write, add text boxes, and pretty much make anything PDF interactive. And up until about the summer, I kept trying to use any online docs to do this. And now this is great. This really works much better. So if you need interactive PDFs, I highly encourage Kami. Here's an alternative, and this one just came out last month. Teachermade.com is absolutely free, and it converts all your paper into digital activities. Now, I haven't checked this one out. I've been using Kami because our school has a subscription. But this literally came out in September by a teacher, a K through 12 teacher, who wanted something better than Google Slides or Forms. So then a bunch of us, just like in the last week, started checking this out. This actually, not only, let me just show you what it can, just some of the things it can do, but TeacherMade here, not only can it do that, but what it also has is it has a grading feature. So you can sign up and you can log in. And then I've really not done much experimenting with this, but you can create an assignment, you can preview a worksheet. This is not a good one, but I was just adding true and false. But it also has a grading tool attached to it. And I've been asking one of my colleagues if they've done the grading tool yet. So I gotta tell you, this is worth checking out, and they tell you it's always going to be free, but it's going to convert many of your digital, paper into digital activities, and they claim it's better than Google Slides or Forms. I tend to use Google Forms a lot, and it can do a lot. So I love that they show this, and it has the grading option, and I really think that's going to be the hook for this TeacherMade, and they said they're going to keep this free. So whether they do or not, but I do love that it has the auto grading in it. and it's going to save you time. So those who put in their goals, I need better time management. This is a free tool, and it has this grading feature. I encourage you to check it out. Richard Byrne, who does free tech for teachers, and the 4 is a number, 3tech4teachers.com, wrote a whole article on this. Now they do pay him, so he did disclose that he is paid to write for them. But he's also very thorough. So you can check out his blog post at 3tech4teachers.com. Let's talk about some other really fun things to do online. Staff Wars is an amazing little tool to do online. You can get it for free from the musicinteractive.com and download it to your laptop. I will tell you this caveat. Craig, who made this, is having problems with Adobe. So if you're having more recent Mac laptop, it's not working, but it's like 25 cents per seat in your class. Or you could get the app, and the app is like 99 cents. So get the app and put it up on screen. Just in Zoom, you can just share your iPad and put it up. But I did this with students, and though the lag is a little hard when you get up to level 8, because my students were doing this online in Zoom. So they were sitting there with their devices of iPads or laptops, and it would fly across the screen, and then they'd shout out the letter together. And if they shouted it out correctly, I hit it. If they shouted out incorrectly, I hit the wrong one. And it worked beautifully, and they loved it, and it was great. Again, once you get to about level 8, because of the bandwidth and the latency lag there, you're gonna have an issue. They're gonna answer too late, but it was a fun one to play online. This one is great, Classics for Kids. You're just looking for a music game here. Go to the note names. This one. And I had the students do this one, and I would say, call out the letter. And then I'd say, call out the letter. And if it's wrong, it will never tell you like you're out. This one is nicer if you're kind of like you don't like that Staff Wars gets them out and the game is over, though the kids love that. This is nicer because they can't lose this. And they're great. I use this with my younger ones where I use Staff Wars with grades 2, mid-year, and up. I'll use this one with grades 1 and early 2. And it works out very, very well, and they loved doing that. There's other ones on there. Let me just show one more that's on there. Good. This one, if you go back, a really cool one here. Yep. That has the musical terms and the match the rhythm. So there's some really cool games in here, and it's classicforkids.com, and just click the games. There's a lot of free stuff there, and easy to use in an atmosphere of a variety of atmospheres. Rhythm Randomizer. This is awesome. Go to this website. This is great. I took videos of all these websites thinking that the internet would shoot down. So it's really nice actually to use this. So you could sit here and it just randomizes rhythms, and you can go into the settings and tell it what you want. Why is this great? Well, you could practice rhythms. So you can't play together. Online, you can practice rhythms. So, you know, with your percussionist, you can be like, play this one on your percussion pad. Or, you know, with your clarinets, be like, I want you to play this on the note D. Go ahead. And just rhythm randomize and have them sight reading rhythms. The other really cool part about this is you actually can make flashcards just by screenshotting these. So I don't have to go into a tool and make this. I can go to the Rhythm Randomizer and just screenshot it. I think this is like one of the best kept secrets out there. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you, Keisha. Good. I'm so glad. And again, these are on our website. So the Google Sites that I put you, it's right there in the chat box. Here's another one that's awesome. This one is great too, because guess what, this is a note image generator. Again, these are things like blew my mind one day, just finding them. So here, it's a PNG treble clef. You can sit there and put it what you want, alto, tenor, bass, all my violas. Let's hit you, right? And then it creates the image. So what can you do with this? Well, you can take a screenshot and put it wherever you need to. So you don't have to go into Noteflight. You don't have to go into Sibelius, Finale, MuseScore, whichever. That is great. Oh, good, good, good. So you can just take this. This is again notes. This is notes.brettpimentel.com. I honestly don't know where the that comes from, but it's awesome because it generates these images. And then you can do some cool things with those images. I'm going to show you in a second. Here's one more that blew my mind. I had no idea this was hanging around. So I thought I was going to have to create it. Oh, no worries. I thought I was going to have to create this, and I didn't have to create this. I'm really, don't worry. I thought I was going to have to create a solfege tool. This one does it for me. So let's say I wanted solfege in C major. And so I would click on that, and look what I have now. I have an interactive.
So, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re.
Where has this been hiding all my life? I only found this one out last week. If you knew this one, awesome, because you're teaching online. Look at that. You have an interactive chart. You could put this link, excuse me, on their online platform. Oh, excuse me. I got so excited about this. I'm still excited a week later, but that's a really good one to use for interactive learning. So all those images I just took, what could we do with them? Well, Wheel of Names is what we can do with them. Wheel of Names is a spinner generator. So it's wheelofnames.com. You can put text and you can put those images you just took. And then you can customize the name, how you want to do it, disco music, the seconds, the maximum number of visible, and now you have an online tool and kind of an online because I know you can't hear me once it's playing. Then I can say, Tony, clap that rhythm. And Tony can unmute and go TT rest. And then it's really cool. You can make these and you can save them. This is absolutely free. So I've made 3 so far that I've used. The Arioso wheel, which is basically, I took emojis and they make up singing. So this is great for my online students because they can sing. And I also did the treble clef wheel. And then you can share these. So you can actually hit the continue and that they can only spin the wheel or that they're able to edit their own copy. So you can share out the link. And when you share out the link like that, it will be able to put it on Seesaw, or you can put it on whatever you're using the online platform, and then they can play at home. So that's a really cool one. Again, totally free, Wheel of Names. Polleverywhere.com. This is great for social emotional learning, so you can connect with your students. So you can create a poll, and in my poll, let me see if I can find it. Where is mine? Because it says I'm on. There we go. So I've created a poll. This is a really cool one, music words. So I have it, let me admit someone in there. I have it right here in music words. So I can go right here to music words. And if you go to this poll right now, pollev.com /Amy Burns 632. If you do that, you can actually take the poll. So if I do that, and I put that right into it, I can put in any music words and then it shows up on screen. So you can poll your students online this way. So you're teaching remotely, you can make any sort of poll. And in this one, like you can see how they're feeling. How are you doing today? Or this one's gonna make it a Wordle, which is really cool. So if you did that and you put in words, a whole Wordle would come up of music words. So this is a great way, again, to keep yourself connected with your students, and that's just polleverywhere.com. It's free, and you can create these online polls to do during class, and that's great. It's good check-in. Then here, she gives a lot of more free websites out there, and that's cornerstoneconfessions.com. Start here and go down to here. I will say this though, that has not been updated since, I want to say 2012, so some of those links, but she does have quite a thorough resource. So do I. You can go to amyburns.com and /websites, and you can click there and find a bunch that I do as well. So little brain breaks and movements. This is, I didn't know if I got any of the PE educators on here, but this is for you. And this is for us music educators as well. I love to make these little movement cards. And I always did them digitally because when you had 30 kids in a room and you held up a piece of paper, it didn't quite work. They couldn't see it. And these are just little, the worst stick figures ever. And I really do need this 6 feet distance, these 3. But these right here are really helpful because you can play music and then share your screen and they have to freeze. I love that one. You can always find Dr. Fire Robbins Move-Its. I like that one a lot, and you can find these on YouTube, but he does take them down when people, because of copyright, so you can always stream them and buy them and stream them. This one is my favorite. He is, I think his name is Kevin. He is a PE teacher, and during the May the 4th Be With You week, because we study Dave Brubeck's Take 5, and we studied John Williams' Star Wars, and he created this scarf movement that my students cannot get enough of. Check this out, and again, you can just go to the YouTube link. I put it there on the sites. And just check out what he did. Oh, you're not gonna, oh, the video's unveiled. This is the one time I did just the video instead of downloading it, but here it is. So take a look. And that's, I mean, you can just grab that YouTube link there and you can share your screen and the students follow him. This is a great little brain break, which I love about this. This is an absolute brain break. For us doing this online workshop today, there are times you're gonna need brain breaks, and I'm not gonna make you do it. Honestly, I value your time and that you're here today. I wouldn't make you get up right now, but if you wanted to, you could be like, yeah, pause Amy and just click that link over in Google Slides and do this scarf dance with Kevin and his PE awesomeness. I mean, he is really, really cool. So if you know PE teachers, I would encourage them to follow him. He has a whole website. Again, it's up on the Google Slides. And I'm sorry, up on the Google site, and it's right there. It's really, really cool. You thought he would have gotten wild with that scarf. He never gets too wild. It's not inappropriate. but he is, it's a lot of fun to watch him. And he inspires me because when I have PE teachers that love to move too. And I think he's so inspiring in that way. Incredibox. So Incredibox is a great way to create music, and I'm sure you know this already. But if you hadn't seen Incredibox, it's amazing. And if you're on a laptop, you still have the demo version with the 4 styles that are for free. Now, if they are on iOS devices, the app is paid. You have to pay for the app. It's $3.99. But my students go nuts over this. And of course, It's very simple, but you can make it into very musical by asking them to record themselves in a form, or find more of the high beatboxers or the bass beatboxers. And what that does is it really makes the students think. You're giving them higher order thinking questions on how they would create music. The only thing that I have the issue with is that they are shirtless, and the students get that issue too sometimes.
You got to put some clothes. You got to put some clothes. You got to put some clothes. You got to put some clothes.
Of course, I mean, it does a lot, and it can share out, and of course, you could screen record, and I'm going to get into that soon. But they could screen record what they're doing and send that to you as well. So that's a great music creation tool. How about when I put this on the survey, at least last night when I checked it, this one wasn't, I'm not even sure if anyone checked this, or maybe only one of you checked it. This is amazing. And this works on iOS devices, so that's why I'm going to show this. I wouldn't if it was like only specific Chromebooks, but this works on the Chrome web browser on an iPad. This is Chrome Music Lab. It has many phenomenal tools. From, ooh, that's brand spanking new, is the shared piano. That's cool. Songmaker allows students to create songs using a very, very intuitive platform. So you could go into the settings. You actually can share a song and have them come into it as well. So I love this, that you can split the beats. You can make it 4 bars, 8 bars. You can make the scale pentatonic. You can start on F, and there we go. And then they would. And notice it's pentatonic, so it's going to sound really good. Percussion's down here. And the tempo is quite speedy. We could bring it down. And if you put it in C, these are boomwhacker colors. Because I put it in F, it put red as do. But C would be red as do. And then you can save it, and they can share it out. So here's a really cool thing. They could create and share to you. Or you can create and share to them. And then tell them to add a line, add a drum line. Here's this. Or can you guess this song? Like, there's a lot of times I go name that tune in these and see if they can name the tune on that. That's one of Chrome Music Labs. That's the Song Maker. Now over here, the rhythm guys, these are great for visual subdivisions. Get the monkey with the triangle to do something there. That's your 3s. Here's your 4s. So you can really make them create beat and kind of show where the subdivisions are. This is also a great cross-curricular math activity. I saw a teacher actually say make a math equation using 2 circles and 2 diamonds, and what does the beat produce when you make 4. And it's really, really, really interesting. This is 5. So they do tackle 5, which I love, because you don't always find those who will tackle 5 for you. And here, and now you have a 5. And then 6. That's really cool. Kandinsky, you could do a whole thing with the Noisy Paint Box, which is a children's book, and then go into Kandinsky and create abstract music by creating abstract art. This is something I do with my art teacher, and you can change the instruments by changing the color. Bop. Bop. Now to share this out, they can screen record. Screen recording tools can, all those tools are for free. Yes, Chrome Music Lab is free. So, I mean, this is, you share the link and the students can do this online with you. It's really, really amazing, and I'm only the tip of the iceberg there. I would highly encourage you to check it out. Even like, turn me off, go check this out, come back to the recording later. Because I have so much to show you that I just wanted to show you everything, and then you explore on your own. Hope he get, oh, that's not for me, okay. But there's more in here as well, the piano roll, and this is brand new. To share piano, I saw this in the beta version and now it's here. Makes me so happy, but this is really cool because it really does allow you to actually share. So I could go over to Rosemary and bring her in and she and I could play together. I believe that's what's supposed to happen. And again, I'm not quite sure. But it is like you can, again, add people. That's the thing with that. I only saw it in beta, and I can't wait to explore that more with my students. There's a lot of tools here that go into science as well. Sound waves, voice spinner. It's really, really cool. These are amazing to use with kids. I gotta tell you, the chord maker there, and the melody maker is just a very simple version of song maker, and it doesn't allow you to share out. But again, anything that you can't share, like Kandinsky, you can screen record. On the iOS devices, it's very simple. It's in the control panel and hit that screen record. Don't forget in the iPads to hold the mic down if you want them to narrate, because a lot of times it defaults with the microphone off. All right. I see you all on the chat there. You're all adults, so I'm not going to say anything. But that is musiclab.chromeexperiments.com. So I am going to reiterate that when you go to our Google Sites, I shared this in the chat way up there, and if someone wants to re-put these links in there, go ahead. The link is there, and you can see the things that I'm working on and showing you. So like there's the scarf dance, Incredibox, Music Tech Teacher, there's Chrome Music Lab. So the link's there, even if you're furiously taking notes, which is awesome because sometimes that's the best way I remember too. But do know you have this right here. And again, the second monitor, if you're teaching remotely and you don't have a second monitor, I highly encourage you to find a way to get a second monitor because it really does make it so much easier sharing screens. On the same respect, my friends over in Muse Ed Lab created something absolutely for free, and this really goes, you can't see it because I didn't share the screen. Here it comes back. This is Groove Pizza, and if you haven't used Groove Pizza, I encourage you to use it. It's absolutely free, and it's so mathematically inclined as well. So Groove Pizza allows you to, first of all, you can just use the drum pads. So if your students are used to using GarageBand's drum pad or Soundtrap's drum pad, or even BandLab might have a drum pad, or using an app like that, this will look very familiar. So they can, as you can see, create shapes by just adding things right here. But they also can go into shapes. And this is a great cross-curricular activity. If you know they're working with certain shapes, and you can bring that in, and you can see how it's moving around. I'll make the outer layer. You can work with angles. Look at that. It shows you the angles on this. Your pizza, because it is Groove Pizza, doesn't need to have 16 slices. And you can put a swing into it, change the beat and the volume. When you hit the second circle, it's automatically going to copy the first, and then you can edit through the second. I also love the specials. You can go to Billie Jean, and it has that pre-programmed in. Chameleon. We Will Rock You. With my students, they copy this. Now sharing. To share this out, you can share it out as a MIDI file and put it in your notation program, audio file and put it into GarageBand, or we have Soundtrap in our school. Soundtrap is free, but I would say as educators, use the free version. and it's an online community, like it's GarageBand and Google Docs Love Child, because you can create together online. But for students, I would highly suggest you have to use the paid EDU version so that you have the safe walls around them, and it's FARPA and COPA and all those guidelines. But I would share this out here, and then the students would add their recorder sound, and then they re-record themselves playing We Will Rock You. So the students would just share that right over to their soundtrack and then play this We Will Rock You. So again, group pizza is absolutely free. It's a great math connection, and it's right there in our Google Sites. Beatbox, more music creation. I really hope that I'm just like tickling the ivories for you, and you'll like want to go back and look at this. This one, have you ever, I don't know, I'm dating myself, so I'm gonna date myself right now. This is 80s music. This is 80s video game music. So, I mean, that's exactly what it is. So you can sit here. So, and what you're seeing is not what, my screen looks different. If you go to beatbox.co right now, yours will look different because in the preferences, I checked a lot of things on so that all the lines play at once. This is a great gaming tool. You could use this for them to create video game music. And it's so intuitive. I would always love to say your students should have a musical background. You just might get students that don't have a musical background, and they don't need to know a lot to be able to use this. Of course, that's how you would teach more of a musical background, is using something like this. But this is so, so phenomenal. I'm gonna close tabs because if my students would tell me right now, you have way too many tabs open. And screen recording. This one, I'm gonna get into the second session, but two popular ones to use are Loom and Screencastify. Screencastify and Loom are both free for music for educators. Screencastify will limit you to 5 minutes. Loom has no limitations. So I would say if you use your educator email, get Loom and you can screen record anything. So you can make those tutorial videos, you can share the sound right into your video, and Loom is free for educators. You just have to use your educator email. When the pandemic is over, educators will get 45 minutes of video to create for free, meaning they can create a video up to 45 minutes long. That's still more than Screencastify, and it's completely intuitive to use. Screencastify, sure, I'll demonstrate Screencastify. All right, let me get yeah, I'm gonna leave you. Okay, so Screencastify I usually have as an extension. Of course. In this one, Screencastify is over here. I have to tell you, I go to Loom now, so give me a second to find my Screencastify extension. There it is. So I have it as an extension. Of course, I believe it's a download as well because we're so Chrome and Google in my school that, oh good, that I gotta tell you, my daughters use this. So my daughters are in 4th and 6th grade. Their age is 9 and 11. My 9-year-old has been using Screencastify on her Chromebook since she was like 7. So it's really intuitive. You can set up the mic access, set up the camera access. So I'm gonna have it set up so it enables my mic cam. I'm a little worried about my mic feedbacking. So if I do have to change that tool for a moment, I will. I'm gonna enable the annotations. That means I can write on my screen. Yep, I'm gonna allow that. I'm gonna allow it, and then you don't need to show me around. Like I said, I tend to use Loom now. Really? No thanks. You want to show me around? Okay. So it comes on here. I'm going to sign in with Google. And I'm going to sign in with my educator account. And as we bring it in, here's Screencastify. So making sure you can see it. Good. All right. Failed to load files. That's all right. You don't need to load files. Let's just do a new one. Let me see if I can do a new one for you. You want me to sign in? I'll sign in. Here we go. All right, good. Oh, wow. I have used this before. Wonderful. All right. So I want to do, again, I don't use this one as much, so I'm just trying to find where I can do a new recording. Because once I get into it, you have it. Submit, sign out, my recordings. So you would do a new recording. My apologies, because this is usually just easy. And in the new recordings, the one time, like I just need where it would just open. It's in my recordings. I don't know why. It should just give me a new recording, like a plus should be here somewhere. Because my daughter, she will just use this so easily. Let me see if I can just do it this way. Just get the extension to do it. In this Screencastify, what they're doing, there we go. Perfect, there we go. That's what I was trying to do because it was in the account. Now that I've opened my account, when you hit the extension, here comes your tools. So I don't have the webcam, but I could embed my webcam and my microphone is working. So now I have a tutorial. Usually I'll pop up somewhere on this window. Now I can do the browser tab or the desktop or just the webcam. It really is how I want to do it. The browser tab means that you will only record what's on the tab. The desktop is going to record everything and the webcam is just going to be me. That doesn't know what camera I want, so we're going to tell it. Now I should pop up as a little circle. When you hit record, here I come, you can't see my circle because I'm over. I want to know what screen I'm recording. We're going to screen there, and I'm over on my other monitor. That's why you can't quite see me on the screen. So now I am recording, and now it's recording anything that I say. And my little bobblehead is over on the other monitor, but you can have your face on screen too. The annotations allow you to circle things that you're talking about on the screen, and it's recording everything you're doing right now. When you're done, you would just click stop. And again, this is not the tool I usually use, so I'm gonna click stop sharing, and that ends it. And then it saves into your Google Drive. I'm still here, good. So there it is. It does give you some snip tools here that you can do some basic editing. And then I have it muted, but it will save to your Google Drive. You can save any trims that you do. And then it has these sharing tools as well. So you can copy the shareable link, publish to YouTube. Yeah, and get an embed code. So that's really cool. So you can embed it onto a Google site. You can embed it into an email if your email allows that, or you can send it right in an email like that too. So that's really nice as well, and it saves right to the Google Drive. Our students use this because it saves to their Google Drive on their Chromebook and it's an extension. But I tend to use Loom because it gives me more than 5 minutes for free. Phew, I don't usually use it, so I was like a little nervous I was gonna go badly on that. So this is something I did in Loom. Again, just using the screen, you could do this in Screencastify. I got a Kindle version of the Noisy Paint Box, and then I just did this.
Colors and sounds of Kandinsky's abstract art, The Noisy Paint Box, by Barb Rosenstock and Mary Grandpre. The Noisy Paint Box. Vasya Kandinsky spent his days learning to be a proper Russian boy. He studied booksfuls of math, science, and history. He practiced piano scales to the marching click of the metronome. He sat stiff and straight at dressed-up dinners while grown-ups talked and talked and talked.
So this is me reading a book to the students using the Kindle version of the Noisy Paint Box. Now, if you want to get around or it doesn't have a Kindle version, you can take pictures and then you're going to be going into an editing tool. But you can do that. I did go into a movie editing tool, obviously, because I added the piano sounds to it. But you could basically, using Screencastify, or I was using Loom, that's how I know, because that little red box right there, you can do Screencastify or Loom, have the Kindle there, hit record, even have your little face on the screen if you want, and read the book. So this is nice instead of trying to hold up a book into the screen. And again, these are free. Screencastify is free for 5 minutes. Loom is free right now for unlimited for educators. And when the pandemic is over, they'll give you 45 minutes, meaning you can make a 45-minute long video. It's really, really great, and I can't tell you enough how great it is. But if you're using Flipgrid, a lot of you are using Microsoft, and we're going to do Flipgrid in the next session. Flipgrid is great because it has a screen recording tool built in. Watch this. This is my daughter, Sarah. So here she's a third grader, and she's going to tell you about something she's recording on screen, and she's just using Flipgrid.
So, Miss Burns, I also made this. This is really funny. And I learned that when you close a circle on this, it makes that. It could make like... Wow, that's a big one.
Sarah's always my helper. When she sees me start, like the microphone comes out and everything, she's like, what do you need me to demo? And I'm like, awesome, come here. So she went and demoed this. I was teaching a grad class in STEAM this summer, so like she was demoing things for the music educators. But Flipgrid has a tool built in so that the students can screen record within Flipgrid. And again, I'm gonna get into session 2, but Flipgrid is owned by Microsoft, so it's absolutely free. And if your kids have Microsoft emails or you're using Teams and things like that, it might already be built in. Then of course, I showed you Soundtrap there. Soundtrap, again, the EDU version is paid, but BandLab is free and it's very similar. It's like Google Docs and GarageBand online. So I know Soundtrap will work on the iOS device, though I would use GarageBand if I was just an iPad school. So those are the 3 that are making music right now. And then Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is so cool because it's basically a tool that you can put tutorial videos on or grab videos from YouTube and turn them into assessments. So here what I'm showing you are a video, a lecture that I had to give the students, the grad students, and they had to answer questions. So the video will stop and you put in the question and they have to answer it, and it won't go anymore until they answer the question. And they can't speed through. They can't just click through the video. They have to actually watch the entire video. Not only that, it gives you stats here to show you if they watch the entire video. So like here, this person never watched the video, but over here, they watched the entire video. It's really good for students. If you are asynchronous learning or remote learning, you can assign videos and make sure they do the work. And then they can answer the questions. So this is gonna grade it easier for you. It actually has grading tools inside of it as well. Edpuzzle is so much, and this is free, but the paid version can give you more, but this is absolutely free. So if you're doing this type of learning right now in asynchronous or synchronous or live learning, you can do this. And it just gives you a spreadsheet of the answers, and it's really, really quite good. And it accesses most any YouTube videos, plus what teachers have made, like recorder videos. That's Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is really cool. If you haven't checked out Edpuzzle and you want something like this is it. This is great. All right, well, we did pretty well. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. We're coming up to a break because it's 10 o'clock. It's coming to 10. I don't know if you like this platform. Most of you have your cameras off, so I'm just doing it this way. But if you're kind of like, no, let's try something together, just let me know. But if you're kind of like, no, I'd rather listen to you in the background while I'm multitasking doing other work, I have no issues with that. It's really up to you. So I'm looking at some of the chat room here that I see. And again, if you haven't seen when I was sharing the Google Sites, you want to go to the Google Sites, and it's up there. But I'm going to have you take a break, and then we are going to come back, and I'm going to do more with kind of Google Slides and Flipgrid and Google Forms and things to help you with grading and creating tools. So right now, I'm trying to say links to sites we can use. I arrived late and I missed some stuff. No worries. The link I'll put back into the chat room, but it is up here. If you go to the top of the chat room, it's the sites.google.com/view/ISTEP music. So if you need those links, that's going to be up there for the next year. And anything I forget to add, I can add right on there. So you have this second session. It's going to be a different link. So go 20 minutes, take a break, move around, have some coffee, and I will meet you again at 10:20. And again, send me questions, whatever you want to do, we'll keep going. So have a good break, and I'll see you in 20.